What's up, everybody? Thanks a lot for tuning in to another episode of Birds of a Feather Flock Together. This is a season finale. We got my boy Jay and my boy Cash and Warren in the building. Jay should be joining us shortly. What's going on?
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all feeling today?
Feeling better than I was last week. Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad we had a week layover, my brother, because it wouldn't have been good for me, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sound no bitter fan like no 40 Weiner fan, sitting up there whining and stuff. You know what I mean? No disrespect to them. I understand, you know what I mean? If the shoe was on the other foot, we might have felt some type of way or whatever also. But, when a team knock out two quarterbacks, it ain't like, you know what I mean? It was no fluke, you know what I mean? Real talk. So, we're gonna get into these topics right now. We're gonna hop into basically what was the standout moment or game of this season that you knew we was destined for a great season. You can start it off, Cass, and then we'll go to
Warren. So, I mean, to be honest, the one game, it was really hard collectively. No cap. I ain't even going to, no cap in the first three games. I was going to, we had this conversation. You could, other people look at the previous podcasts that we recorded. Within the first four games, we was already predicting that we were going to go at least 10-0, 12-0 in the season. So to be honest, I was able to make that decision early. I wasn't too stirred up about that game against the Lions. We only beat them by 3 points. But what really was the game changer for me was how we handled the Vikings.
Yeah.
That was, I was like, okay, we're going to have a great season. When we kept them at 7 for the whole game and, 24 points and, kind of dominated them that game. And then the week after that, we did the exact same thing against the Commanders. So it was that early in the season where I was like, all right, this is going to be a hell of a season. So that's when it was for me.
And what was it that stood out to you? Was it defensively, offensively? What was the standout point for you?
Man, to be honest, I can't even say that it was defensively because early in the season, that's when Gannon kept playing that soft-ass pass defense. So it was really how explosive our offense was, how we was connecting, the leadership that Jalen showed. Just the connection between him and AJ Brown, and then Devontae showing up too as well. It was just, I was like, all right, we got something working here. So that's what it really was. I'm gonna have to say it was the offense.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm kind of like you, Cash. Just all the talk, and when you look at our roster and just saw how we were, it's like, okay, we can make it back to the playoffs, and then I guess the confidence kind of built up when AJ Brown came in and CJ Gardner, all them boys. And I guess the games were just kind of like that confirmation for it. So I would say the Vikings game, that kind of confirmed our offense was legit. Right. And honestly, bro, that one play that Jalen did when he was running, and usually most quarterbacks would kind of just run out of bounds. But when Jalen did that spin move and kind of just bodied them just over that end zone, bro, that's when I was like, bro, he wants this. Like he's trying to prove a point. And that's why I say that's when I realized our offense is actually legit and we can ball with them. Our defense, when I got that check, when that check got marked off for the defense, was honestly that Cowboy game. Because you can simply just say, okay, Dak wasn't there. Right. Cooper Rush was balling too. That's like he was balling on him, and the way we played up against the Cowboys, that's another check. Just because that's when CJ Gardner stepped up, and that's when our defense just imploded on them, bro. And
Yes, it did.
and then I would just say, as a whole, as a team, that Jaguar game, they played in the rain. They were playing in Jacksonville. We were
Mm,
down by 14, and then we came back after being down by 14, and just the way we just stuck together, nobody buckled under pressure, bro. That's when I was like, okay, like we legit. Like,
right.
you can talk about our schedule and all that, bro, but those are, I feel like, were our testing moments to see if we are going to be that team or not. So that's my three. So
Yeah, yeah. I absolutely agree with you, Warren. And I didn't even really, say when the defense, where I really started to get sold on the defense. I always had faith in our front. Well, at least the front four. Those are my guys, especially with Fletch there, and Brandon there. But then we got some injuries, and we had to pick up some pieces later on in the season. But I'll definitely agree that Cowboys game was when I was sold on the defense. That's a division game. That was a real dog fight. I mean, their offensive line ain't nothing to sleep on the Cowgirls either. But we was able to get that W and get that done. And like you said, Cooper Rush ain't nothing to sleep on. He ain't no Dak. But to be honest, compared to what was going on this season, shit, they probably would have been better off with Cooper Rush.
exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So I probably would have been a little bit more nervous if Cooper was playing the whole season. But yeah, man. So overall, as a team, shit, I want to say I was really overall as a team after that same Cowboys game because there was like some type of memes that was going on. Like we was doing a revenge tour, and
Mm-hmm.
when we kept going down the hit list, I'm like, yo, we out here getting this shit done. We out
Yeah,
here getting every target done for every player that was traded. How we did Tennessee, how we did New Orleans, how we did the Vikings, how we did who else was it on the revenge tour? The Cardinals,
and
man.
then we had
Oh,
Tennessee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Steve
yeah,
Nelson
yeah.
with the Houston Texans.
Texans.
yeah.
So I was like, yeah, we got this. This is our season. So yeah, early in the season, Cap, I was like, this is. I felt, to be honest, that we could have won the Super Bowl, and we still could have. Shit, I still feel like we could win the Super Bowl.
Bro, don't get me started, bro.
Big facts.
Yeah, man.
Shit, I'ma elaborate, piggyback on both of y'all's game. With the Vikings for the 24/7. I believe that was week 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
the games that it was for me was it was a 3-game stretch with the Jags, Cardinals, and Cowboys
Hmm.
that showed us the adversity. When we went down, we never was down to the Cardinals, but we was down to the Jaguars, and Jalen threw a pick six, all types of shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it showed adversity, and it was against Coach Dougie. He knew us very well. You know what I mean? All that type of shit. Meaning not us, the team, because he didn't know the team, but
Right,
meaning knew the fans. They was gonna show him love. He wasn't gonna get the average coach booing and
right,
and bickering and all that stuff. We have
right,
respect. He brought us our first Super Bowl. Then we was able to come down here to Arizona, where I was able to check out that game, and defense held strong. Even though they could have made that field goal, they was in great distance to make it, but they missed it, and that just showed us that we could pull off a close game. And then that gave us momentum going into Dallas. Because I believe we had right after that it was Dallas. And we got to beat up on Dallas, and then off the high of Dallas is that game where AJ showed out against the Steelers.
Yeah.
And that's right there is like that little stretch right there from the Jags, Cardinals, Cowgirls, and the Steelers is what showed me that we was going to have a great season. Not just a good season, but that we had a chance of making a Super Bowl run. At the time we talked, you don't never really say win the Super Bowl. We say get to the Super Bowl. and we'll deal with that afterwards. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that stretch after Minnesota, when I see Minnesota, we held Jefferson and Cook and Thielen and they why tight end that they had at the moment, you know what I mean? And we held them to 7 points. That's when I knew we was gonna be official. But
Right.
that 4 game stretch, like I mentioned with the Jags, Cardinals, Cowgirls, and the Steelers, is what put it over the top for me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I said, the what you guys said was 100% correct, especially coming off of Detroit with putting up what we put up 38, 36 against them or something and beat them by like 3 points. That showed that our offense was going to click. But then the defense turned around week 2 and showed us what we was looking into, you know what I
Right.
mean, for the season. So I'm
Kept it
not
back
going
in the
to
seven.
yeah, I'm not going to elaborate on that too long, but we're going to hop into this next topic. We're gonna talk about this Super Bowl L. Who wanna hop on first?
I'll go first on that. The L sucked. At the end of the day, I bet we all wish that we had that minute and a half to give Jalen the ball and see what we could do on offense. But at the end of the day, it's not that one play. So I think the fumble was a really big game changer.
Yeah,
Um,
bro.
yeah, the fumble was a
I was
game
thinking about
changer.
that.
But at the same time, that fumble hurt us as Eagle fans, bro. But at the same time, those people that had those doubts in Jalen Hurts, once he got the ball back and the way he just balled on them after,
Scored right
that let
after.
him know he is legit. So it was bittersweet, but I think we can come back, bro, if we just had the right people. But yeah, that definitely that fumble. Uh, the defensive line was quiet. Um,
Bro, no
they were
sacks.
quiet. No threats
No
on
pressure.
Mahomes, bro. Yeah, he didn't feel no pressure to where he was actually started running on
You
us.
should,
Okay,
with a messed up leg.
let me
Yeah,
elaborate on that real quick though, also. And you see how you said that, Warren, with
yeah,
disbelief and disappoint at the same time. You know what I
yeah,
mean? With a less frustrated tone because we're almost 3 weeks in past the Super Bowl, 2 weeks past the Super Bowl. So the tone wasn't as vulgar as if we would have came on the week we were supposed to, and the
yeah,
explanation that you're saying. So to speak on that with the disbelief and disappoint all season long, we got to any and every quarterback, no matter who he was, we got to him. No matter who the offensive line was, we got to your quarterback. And
hmm,
so the thing that we never faced all season was conditions and those elements of that grass that you
Hmm.
yeah,
see all of our players slipping, all of our
Uh-huh.
players having to change their cleats multiple times, not
Right.
twice. I
Right.
mean, in multiple times. So,
Right.
and you never seen the Chiefs change their shoes one time. You never, or cleats, should I say, one time. You never seen them slip in a golden opportunity moment. When Bradbury held on to Juju Smith Schuster, don't you think that's going through his head?
That he gonna be slipping.
That he gonna slip with that big turn, with
Right.
that big
yeah,
with him
Right.
having to jab and do all
Right.
that. Because anytime you make a
Absolutely.
sudden stop and try to get back momentum, you slip
Yeah.
and fall.
Right.
And
That's a
so,
fact.
so back to what I was saying about with Warren's point, the way he said it and everything, we faced a creature that was really unfair with the elements of the grass. And people can, or should I say, the sod. People can say the Chiefs played on that same field, but the Chiefs didn't have to change their cleats not one time. And they had to have an inside track on the field because one thing that I didn't notice and didn't understand is why they don't let both teams practice the day before on the actual football field where they can test out the cleats, test out, you know what I mean, to make sure, see what's going on and everything like that. So um I'm not gonna ramble like I am doing, but the sod father, the sod God, the person that has done every NFL field, or should I say every Super Bowl field since Super Bowl one, this was his last hurrah. and he was a field person for the Kansas City Chiefs. Hired him, the owner, the Lamar Hunt Trophy for the AFC Championship. He was best friends with him, and he told Roger Goodell that if he had two hearts, one heart would be for the Eagles, one heart would be for the Chiefs. But us as humans, we only have one heart, correct?
Right.
And so that's back with the Chiefs. So he basically said it after the Super Bowl interview. I'm not gonna put it on here to, you know what I mean. I want y'all to Google it. Whoever's watching to Google it. You know what I mean. That'll be awesome. And he said that he had to do what he had to do in so many words.
Mm-hmm.
It gave them an unfair advantage. And let me add conspiracy too. Do you think Patrick Mahomes is gonna lose in State Farm Stadium, and he's sponsored by State Farm? In every State Farm commercial, him and Andy Reid painting mustaches on planes and bomb baths with jazz bubble
Right,
baths and all that. Do
right,
you think they was gonna lose at State Farm Stadium?
I didn't even think
to,
about that.
to
Yeah.
keep it a buck, I felt like these still would have lost, bro. But like you said, with that state, with the turf that they was playing on, man. If they had like some regular grass, like if it wasn't on that side, if it was on regular turf, bro, he would have lost in that stadium. They was
Man,
gonna lose, bro.
man,
That's how I
Jalen
feel.
doesn't slip and switch like with his. If y'all notice when he fumbled, look at his feet. And he tried to switch hands. So if you're wearing, like, just say you're carrying a bag of groceries in your hand
Mhm.
and you about to fall, what do you think you're worrying about first? You falling, F that bag of groceries, it could
Right,
fall. You know what I mean? So
right,
Yeah.
basically, that was in so many. Not to say that that was the example, but from him trying to switch hands to pivot, he does that famous
That
dagger
move. Yeah.
and he jabs his leg in and switches, which he was basically trying to do and switch hands because the defender was on him and lost the ball. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he got face masks and
Yep.
everything
They
on the
didn't
play.
call that.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna call it. But I'm not gonna, you know what I mean, get into that. But the last thing that I'll say also is, and don't get me wrong, I'm a mixed breed also. So what I'm about to say is nothing that I'm not basically saying about myself. So with Brady leaving the NFL, they have to have a new guy. And they don't want a Lamar Jackson. They don't want somebody that looks like that to be the face of the NFL. So not why not go ahead and give it to Patrick Mahomes, which the stage and the baton was being handed to him within the last 4 years. Haven't the Chiefs been to the last three three Super Bowls in the last 4 years, or four Super Bowls in the last 5 years, or some shit like that?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Something in that name. So they're creating a narrative where that's the new guy in the NFL, and they can't let him lose to the real new guy that's coming up in the NFL is Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean?
right,
Regardless if you're an Eagles fan or not, I got people that are family, friends, everything hit me up like that boy Jalen is the truth. You know what I mean? And not even
Yeah.
Eagle fans.
right.
So it's a conspiracy, but at the end of the day, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely,
Congratulations. That's all I can say.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But to piggyback on Warren's tone, like you said, if this was their week right after the Super Bowl,
Mhm.
our tones would be completely different right now.
Yeah.
I think a little bit that a little that added a little bit of a band-aid on my wounds was that Gannon is gone, because I was highly disappointed on how the defense performed. Speaking on how the defense performed in the Super Bowl, this is the game. This is the game. How are you not blitzing? How are you not sending these people? How is Patrick Mahomes not getting touched? How is there no pressure being sent? Like, yeah, I get it. You gotta, protect the field and back up. Nah, man, come on. You could send a couple of throw a
But
safety up
but
there, do
but
something,
at the
man.
same time though, Cass, that's not really what hurt us. What hurt us is them going in motion and having our man in
Yeah,
motion
yeah, I
where
saw that.
where
Yeah,
where you don't
Yeah.
you don't have absolutely no help and no
right.
confidence, where you're damn near having to sprint to meet that wide receiver on the other side just in case Kansas City, they do it. That motion man, they can say hike and turn around and just hand it to him, and he's gone. And with you bullshitting, you're not gonna catch him. So they seeing how fast our corners was having to adjust to the motion, and they stop him and go back the other way, and they on that field. And what else? What else plays into that scenario? The conditions of the field, bro.
I
Yeah,
get that,
you
but
can't move your feet that quick. Yeah,
those scenarios only happen in the red zone.
No. I'm on your side 100%. That's Gannon's fault. That's what I'm speaking on. You're
Yeah,
not making the adjustments. It happened
right,
once
right.
already with number 19,
They did it twice
Tony.
on both sides.
It happened with 19. Then they turned around and did it again with Moore, with
Right.
Sky Moore wide open in the end zone,
yeah,
bro. He made no adjustments, and I feel that he knew he was going to get that job. He was getting that head coaching job.
Right.
And he didn't
Yeah.
want to have Nick Sirianni get the credit for everything, because Gannon wasn't going to get no credit. It was going to be Nick Sirianni getting the credit, because every time Gannon gave up butt cheeks, Nick and Shane saved his ass.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. It's kind of a shootout, except for the third quarter when they held us only 3 points. But either way, man. But yeah, that's the only Band-Aid that I've gotten so far, because I'm still a little hurt about that, man.
And my
Yeah.
Band-Aid is knowing that our team is young. For every
That's a
person
yeah,
that, like, not every person, let me speak on Cox and Kelsey. For them two vets and Graham, 3 vets, to leave out of our building, their positions are in good hands.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Because Cam Jurgens would be a great beast at center. He already is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then we got Sweat and Reddick to replace Graham. And then Hargrave, if we can sign him, and Milton. And then we got Milton Williams and Jordan Davis up that gut. You know what I mean? We'd be all right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Right.
yeah. Just building on top of it, and we'll be fine, bro. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
So that's the Band-Aid for me, that I feel the future is bright for us. And I see a 3 to 4 year window where we have to take full advantage, and how he has to be aggressive like he was this year to get us back to the promised land. It's not, oh, we made it and we did this. No, the
Right.
losing. If we won it, then yeah, take it easy. You know what I mean? We can go without another Super Bowl within 5 years. We ain't had a Super Bowl in 60-something years. We can go 5 years without another one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I just feel the future is bright in Philly, and with the GM that we have, it makes it extra bright. He puts an LED into it, not a regular nor a light bulb.
Right,
He
right,
puts
right.
an LED to make it a lot brighter. You
That's
get
a
what I'm saying?
fact. That's a fact.
All right. And speaking of GM, Howie, let's speak on Jalen's contract. They saying that he's worth 5 years at $50 million a year, but they basically want to do a 10-year contract at $50 million a year. What y'all thinking about that? Hop on it, Warren.
No, I'm kind of right there with you. I can see him doing that, and this is just, I don't know Jalen Hurts. We only go based off what we see,
Mm-hmm.
but just based off of his demeanor and the way that he is, I can't say he ain't worried about money, but I think for you to prove you have a point, bro, which is what he's trying to do, he wants championships.
That's a fact.
And so he knows that if he takes all this money, he's going to miss on so many opportunities to build around his team and to have a great team. And to be quite honest with you, he low key looks up to Patrick Mahomes. Like, I remember on that Kelsey and Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey interview with him, he looks up to Patrick Mahomes, and that's what Patrick Mahomes is doing. He's willing to take a pay cut to build weapons
But
around
speak
him.
on Patrick Mahomes' pay cut, because when you see the 10-year, $500 million, you're like, damn, they gave him $500 million. But
Yeah,
he's not getting that on the front end. He's getting it on the back end, and then the
exactly.
back end is renegotiable on team and players option. You know what I mean? So he's
Right.
never
Mhm.
going to get that 500,000, but
Right.
it's on the books. He's able to get cheaper on the front end to save the team, like Warren is saying, to put help around him. Why do you think he was able to get all those wide receivers
Yep.
around him? And then they signed Tony from the Giants mid-season.
Right.
Yeah. And then Jalen Hurts, we all know he's gonna get endorsements too, bro.
Absolutely.
So He's going to get endorsements. He's going to be making his money other ways too. So I don't think he's a selfish quarterback. That's what we have the privilege to have, an unselfish quarterback.
Quick
So
question. Far as
yeah,
that you just mentioned, I'm gonna elaborate on that. Far as unselfishness, do you think people is willing to take a pay cut to come play with Jalen?
yes,
Not meaning not
it
people
depends.
that's already in Philly, meaning people that's from the outside looking in, like, damn, I want to go play with them boys. But do you think they taking a pay cut to go play with Jalen?
So you saying on offense or defense or
In
either
general.
one?
In
In
general.
general, I don't know, bro. Just because some players they just want the check.
That's a
Like
fact.
some players just want to check. I think a few, like for example, Woods. They just released Woods with the Titans, and I can see him saying, "Yo, I see what y'all boys doing over there. Like, let me take Quez spot." Like I can see him doing that, and he's willing to take a pay cut, knowing he can get his yardage up. He can possibly get a chip at the end. Like I can see some players doing that, bro.
And
So
it
yeah,
helps him though, with him being a number 3, your numbers get padded, which you don't look at it. Look at Smitty. With AJ
yeah,
being the number 1, Smitty had more receptions than AJ this year. Like, people don't understand that, because look at Dallas. If Goddard wasn't hurt, he would have been our leading receiver this year, 100%.
yeah.
If he wouldn't have got hurt, that would have been Jalen's blanket. But you want to
Hmm.
hop on Cash about the contract situation, and then we can I'll let Warren finish us out. I won't even speak on it, because Warren is speaking my exact language, so I'll let Warren finish it out with what he left off at.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with you both 100%. I feel like Jalen is a humble dude. I believe he see the vision. I believe he appreciates the team and how they fought for him this year. I believe he ain't gonna be money hungry fighting for that 50 million in 5 years. I think he'll be able to allow us to build with the team. He's young. A couple of his players is there. And look, his boy AJ is like, listen, man, whatever this guy go, I'm going.
Yeah, you saw that? Yeah,
So
Hey,
he
look,
already he ain't trying to create no waves and disrupt what's going on. I think he's gonna stay and be humble and take that 10 year and just build around the team. And to answer your question about other teammates willing to take a pay cut to come play for the Eagles, man, this ain't gonna be the first year that people gonna be considering that. People just been players considering taking pay cuts to play for us in the past. So I definitely agree because they always see
let
how we
me
ball.
ask you this, Cash, on that same point though. Do you feel that this is, of course, not the new New England, but in that sense, do you feel that players think we can come to Philly gives me my best chance of winning?
Hell yeah.
So that's what I'm asking, far as pay
Hell
cut
yeah.
wise, would they take pay cuts to come
No,
play with
I
Jalen?
I totally understood what you meant by that. Definitely believe that people, new players and vet players respect Philly. They be like, listen, trade me to Philly. These boys out here balling. Like they definitely, I feel personally that they feel a confidence of at least getting getting a chip or getting into the playoffs every year. I believe
yeah,
we're one of the top contenders in the NFC without a doubt, hands down.
Big
yeah.
facts. Big facts.
We don't have anybody saying I'm glad I'm leaving. You feel me? Like
That's a
Probably
fact.
Robert
you don't
Quinn.
have it. Yeah, but it's Robert Quinn, bro.
Right,
So
that
like,
guy.
it's Robert Quinn. Like when I didn't even we were good without him. Honestly, I
Right.
personally think with Joseph and Sue, we would have been fine. I think we were helping him out more, low key. Um,
And we
but
didn't really give up nothing for him anyway.
yeah,
What he has
exactly.
done on the
So
Bears.
yeah, so I think you do have a good point. Maybe a lot of players would, and I think a lot of players are probably thinking about that just off word of mouth, just those players talking, interacting with each other. But I say after this year, if Jalen plays the same way that he did and no downfall, just let's say he gets one or two more interceptions, but he's still balling like he's been doing, that's what's going to open up the eyes to a lot of those receivers. But personally, I think that's why Miles Sanders doesn't want to leave, bro, because we low key make our running backs look good too.
Right.
And Miles Sanders is looking good with us there. I can see some other running backs like, what if we get Saquon? Now we got six. So what if Saquon's like, yo, I
Dalvin
respect you,
Cook.
Daniel
Dalvin
Jones.
Cook is
Yeah,
associated with us right now. Also, they saying that
yeah,
rumors speculating. And then let me say this too: with what you saying about interceptions going up, I actually like if he puts 2 or 3 more interceptions on. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
that means that he's taking more chances and
yeah,
not like not taking the for sure throws and like if you look at it, he only had what 4 interceptions this year or 6 or something, and
yeah.
like maybe 3 of them were tip balls. They wasn't even like natural interceptions, like he thrown interceptions. Like there was a couple of
Six.
tips, and then we talked about Quez not completing routes. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get all into it. So I actually would like Jalen to have about 2 or 3 more interceptions next year because
Shows he's willing to take the risk.
that shows maturity that he's taking risks
Right.
trying to win ball games on his arm and not just be the reason we don't lose, be the reason why we do win. You know what I'm saying? What
Yeah,
I'm saying,
Right.
and
Right.
that's what I want from Jalen next year, and moving forward, and especially with the confidence with him having a new contract. I see a contract getting done before the season even starts. Whenever we're able to get, I feel that that's the first contract that's going to get done. That's why we're able to have the luxury of putting CJ, which I'll talk about that, which we're about to get into right now. But I feel with Jalen getting the contract, it builds more confidence, and I haven't seen a more confident player at all without the money. So imagine he only
yeah,
got 1.6 this year for his paycheck. You know what I mean? For the whole season and got us to the Super Bowl. So imagine this man next year getting about 27, 28 million. You know what I mean? Off of that 500 million contract. With the 10 year, and he should most likely get anywhere from 25 to 28. No, I'll say 28 to about 35 with the contract if he do it with top half heavy and low on the front end. You know what I mean? So I think he instead of 50, he'll get like 15 cheaper, and that 15 to be able to go to somebody else.
yeah. No, I agree. I just my biggest thing is too, bro, and this is why I said we got a good quarterback because just off his demeanor and the way he carries himself, we can both tell no matter what he gets, he ain't gonna change. Like not a lot of teams can say that about their quarterback. So that money is not gonna change him.
And
That's what
like
I'm
you said,
hoping.
he'll make
Fingers
the
crossed.
difference. And like you said,
Yeah,
he'll make that difference off endorsements, especially once he becomes the franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? He rock Jordans every week. You know what I mean? He's gonna be a Jordan brand. You know what I mean? Endorser. You know what I mean? And all kinds of other things that Dak Prescott had. Now they're going to become Jalen's. Just like Dak took over Cam Newton's spot when Cam Newton was doing commercials for the sleep therapy, the yogurt, all that stuff. And Cam Newton went out when he started doing the crazy hairstyles and all that. Dak
yeah,
became his replacement. Now you see Jalen is about to be Dak's replacement on all those NFL related commercials, bro. And he's about to be the face of the NFL in a minute, be far as that side. You know what I mean? Like endorsements, commercials. But the face of the NFL, the shield, is going to be Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Why you
yeah.
think Bieniemy got up out of there? Because I feel Andy Reid should have went out on a high note and retired this year and let Bieniemy take over as the head coach. With the familiarity, and then with that being said, the conversations wasn't negotiable for him to get up out of here and take the same job in Washington, bro.
That made no sense to me.
At all. How do you take the same job? You didn't do a lateral. You just changed straight across the board with straight offensive coordinator, assistant head coach, the same position that you had in Kansas City. Just didn't make any sense to me, like Warren just said. But that's here or there. Doesn't have nothing to do with the Eagles. We're gonna beat up on him 2 times a year, especially next year. We owe Washington, you know what I mean, and San Francisco. Them are 2 games I circle for next year. Is the Washington first game against Washington uh in that San Francisco 49ers game in Philly. I think that's gonna be the game I go to in Philly because that's gonna be an intense game.
Yeah, right.
Big ups, Jess. Appreciate you tuning in, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers gonna end up with the Jets or Oakland or Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's
Oh
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be a lot
yeah.
of it's gonna be a lot of changes this season, bro. I think there was a lot of changes last season, but we're gonna see a lot of QB changes this year.
I put money on it. He retire. He about to retire,
He
bro.
looked tired.
Yeah, and he talking about he's in a darkness retreat right now where there's no music, sound, nothing. He just in dark for about 2 weeks or some shit. I mean, he gonna come back cuckoo for crazy. He gonna be
Yeah, he
cuckoo for
can.
cocoa puffs, bro.
Yeah, my man
Yeah, he
probably got
gone.
some
Oh
mushrooms or something in there.
man,
Yeah,
he
But
gonna end
Aaron
up on the
Rodgers
Joe
still.
Rogan podcast. Watch.
I feel Aaron Rodgers went Hollywood about 3 years ago, bro, and he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And once he just like once he started dating the race car driver girl, Dana
David
Patrick.
Patrick.
Once
Yeah.
he started dating her, that's when everything was over. Like he started tapping into his celebrity status. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he's still that same person right now, bro. Aaron Rodgers is the most prima donna person I ever seen in my life as an NFL quarterback. And Brady could easily hold that position with his accolades. And he doesn't act nowhere near fucking Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like
Yeah.
nowhere near it. Aaron Rodgers is Hollywood. But this is Eagles. We ain't playing the Packers this week.
Right.
Um, but let's get into this other topic right now. We're moving kind of fast right now. With CJ, there's talks about CJ getting franchised if no deal is done before the season starts. What you thinking about that, Cass?
Man, I believe that'd be a smart move. CJ was a key piece to our defense, leading the man. He led the lead in interceptions and was hurt. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care about no ties. He led it because he was able to play all those games. It will be him hands down. I hope that they figure something out because he's a crucial piece. I can't that guy's a dog. I like the energy he brings to the defense, man. Keep this guy. Put that franchise tag on him. Only thing is that he could be potentially overpaid, but we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out.
The only
That's it.
scary part with franchising him, and I'll let you get back into it, Cash, is that he may be disgruntled coming into the following season and may not want to sign with us. You know what I mean? Where it has to be a deal done mid franchise season.
Hmm.
Like if we franchise him week 3, 4, he got to get a deal done.
Right.
You know what I mean? It has to
Yeah.
be. It has to be a incentive for him to come back because I don't see us not getting a deal done with him his franchise year, which I hope they don't franchise him and see if we can get him on a 4 year back end heavy deal and we can renegotiate in 2 years or something to keep him happy where he get his money like kind of like a Jalen and we can restructure and shit like that. That's just my input on it. I don't want to lose him, but at the same time, I don't want to pay him the money we could be paying Jalen. But if Jalen's taking a discount, then that'll be that money for CJ and
Right.
Yeah.
Hargrave and Hargrave.
I agree with you with that, and I honestly didn't even think about that. That would be a smarter move. However, I feel like CJ knows his worth. I feel like he gonna demand top dollar. This boy was balling. He had a hell of a season. So
And
I
you
hope we
follow
all.
him, right? You
I
follow
do
him on
follow
IG. You
him.
see, he
I
put that
do.
post with
I do.
yesterday's price ain't today's price. You know what I
That's
mean?
mhm.
And he want his money, bro.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That. So he want his money, and he know he balled out this season. He know he could get paid. And there's gonna be some players, some teams are gonna be looking for some corners. So, or even a safety, and he can play both.
And that's the luxury where I feel that we can pay him as a hybrid. Even if we pay him a little more, he gives us two positions. When Maddox was out and Blankenship was balling, we threw CJ right at the slot, and he filled right in with no hiccups or anything, bro.
Right.
So that's why I don't have no problem with paying. That's just like paying a tight end like a Gronk and all, not a Gronk because we can't put Gronk in that category, but all the tight ends that were like wide receivers
Hmm.
and like the Waller, his pay. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like we can go back many years on different tight ends that had wide receiver skills that redefined the tight ends positions pay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the same thing he can do. When that's why I don't have a problem with paying him that extra money because he could be a safety or a slot for us
Right.
or cover the slot, should I say? Warren, you want to hop in on that on CJ's contract and
Yeah.
franchising?
I'd love to have CJ come with us come next year. I think the only thing that bothers me is is the injuries. And the reason why I say that is because I really hope this, but I got a feeling he's kind of like Maddox. Like we we 10 times better with Maddox, but when we don't have Maddox, we like, dang, if we only have Maddox there. I don't want CJ to be like that. That's my only concern on that. That's
And
it.
the concern
But
too
yeah,
with that, I liked it. The fact of his injury was an injury with him being aggressive,
yeah,
not an injury with like a hamstring, ACL, XYZ. It was a lacerated kidney from him being aggressive. And you see what he came back and did Super Bowl and the weeks
get the
prior
Pacheco.
to the
Yeah,
Super Bowl. That dude was out there laying helmet like he didn't have nothing wrong with him. So that's why I feel 100% comfortable with bringing him back.
yeah,
Speaking of which, you see that they're trying to find him for that helmet tackle against Juju.
Mhm.
Come on, bro.
yeah. That's
That was
crazy.
CJ.
against a
Pacheco.
running back, not Juju, number 10,
Oh, it was against okay.
Pachenko or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I feel what you're saying. And
Yeah.
then also to let's get into Gannon and Shane. Both got head coaching jobs going off to Arizona and Indy. What y'all think about that? I don't have nothing to say about neither one of them. I'll
yeah.
let y'all talk.
Man, the
Good
only thing I
riddance
need
for
to say
Gannon,
is,
bro.
yeah, right. That's it. Gannon need to get shot with a cannon. That's the only thing I got to say.
Yeah,
Man,
like that's we basically saw our defense not blitzing, not as aggressive. Now, what are we gonna look like aggressive now?
Right, man.
That's the way I look at it. So Gannon, he's gone. Steichen, I feel like what's the guy's name that's supposed to be taking over for him? He was the assistant
Johnson.
offensive coordinator. Yeah, I think he's gonna kind of just
Let me ask you a
plug and
question.
play.
Let me ask you a question. Since you're
Yeah.
talking about Shane, do you feel either one of them, Shane or Gannon, deserve the head coaching job on any team in the NFL? What have they done? What have they done? What is their resume? To you feel that this year of what we accomplished with the Eagles solidified them with getting head coaching jobs?
In all reality, no. But on like NFL politics, I see why. Like it's that's NFL politics, bro. It's always that team that's in the NFC Championship, that offensive coordinator, even if they trash, they gonna at least get more interviews than they would have if they would have lost in the first round or the wild card. So I feel like it's more of that. And honestly, bro, the Cardinals can have him. Like,
Yeah.
it's the
Right.
Cardinals. Like,
He'll be
I don't
fired in
really.
2 years.
Yeah, like it's the Cardinals, bro. Like, I gotta just imagine he's. I wonder how those conversations gonna be with him and Kyler Murray.
Did you hear in the
Like,
press conference that he said he don't take the job if Murray's not there?
Nah, I
yeah,
didn't see that.
That's
I didn't
that's
see that.
basically what got him the job. Every other head coach said that they didn't want Murray. Every other head
coming off
coach
an
said that
ACL.
they
Yeah,
said that they didn't want to keep Murray on their roster with coming off the injury, how small he is, the compensation, all that stuff, what they was owing him, everything. They felt that they couldn't be successful with that dead money, and he's the only one that said he could work around it. That's the reason why he got hired.
Bro,
yeah.
this
There
guy
you
is
go.
delusional, bro. A little
That's why I
delusional.
say he'll be fired in 2 years, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. Steichen kind of deserves it though, bro. I'll be honest with you. Like he, from what he did with Jalen Hurts, like getting those
But
yards with
but but
Jalen,
let
AJ.
me butt you. Let me butt you. You felt our offense gelled on all cylinders, like we were an unstoppable force when we wasn't scoring no points in the second half. We didn't I like there was no time ever in I would say probably 3-4 games out of the 17 that I felt that we dominated on offense, that we were unstoppable, and Pittsburgh was one of them. I didn't feel that at all with that offense. You feared them, but no team feared them out there on that field playing against them. They was out there balling against them as much as they can, trying to do what they need to do. Jalen got sacked more than Dak Prescott this year. And even though Dak Prescott was gone for like 4 games or whatnot, Jalen was too for like 3 games. And I just don't understand. Our offense was not a dominant force, a feared
Our offensive
force.
line was,
Like how we talk about 49ers defense. You wasn't talking about our offense like that. Like, it's crazy, bro. I don't feel that he deserved a head coaching job. Not saying that he didn't do a good job. Let me get that correct. He didn't do a great job to validate him getting a head coaching job, and he didn't put in a full of work with our offense that we was out there balling, bro. Like, we were a feared a group, bro. We were not a feared group, bro.
yeah. Like I said, it's NFL politics, bro. Because if you really ask me, Brian Flores should have got one of them jobs. Like,
Man, say less.
there's so many other coaches that, like, and then you gotta look at the Colts. Who was it they hired for the half of the season? The analysts
the
on,
analyst,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Jeff
like that kind
Saturday.
of tells you where they at. So, like I said, they went to teams. They went to their appropriate teams. It's not like they went to juggernaut teams. So that's the way I look at it. They desperate. They took them.
And I'm gonna move on from this topic after I say this right here. And we'll get into the next one. I feel the only reason both of them got jobs is because of the list of our free agents, thinking that that's gonna get them to come over to those, especially the defense side of the ball. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we're hiring with Gannon in Arizona, they feel that maybe Bradbury will come there, Hargrave, because that was his his defensive players. With them being free agents, if they don't come to Philly, let's put a push for them. And with them having their old head coach, they're knowing that ain't nothing gonna change. They don't have to change what they was doing from last year. You get what I'm saying? So that's the only reason where I feel that Shane and Gannon got jobs, because of the amount of free agents the Eagles had this year, and they feeling that they can sway those free agents with those coaches.
Yeah. I think the linebacker coach went to Arizona too.
Also,
Yeah.
and the DB coach.
That's crazy. Yeah.
All right, and then so speaking of new DCs that we need to fill in the OC, we already fulfilled with Coach Johnson. Who's y'all new DC that y'all would rather have as our options of Lovie Smith, Vance Joseph, or Rex Ryan? Go ahead, Cash.
Levy Smith. What's the other guy's name again?
Vance Joseph from the Denver Broncos and Rex Ryan.
I would rather have.
2 black coaches, Lovie Smith and Vance Joseph and Rex Ryan.
Warren, you pick up this one. Let me put some thought into that.
I would say, honestly, Lovie Smith. I would say Lovie Smith just because he's an old school, and he's going to be more strategic around our defense of what we want. If I had to pick out of those 3, I actually like that coach from Wisconsin, Jim Leonard, I think. Yeah, I like him because
he actually pulled out because
Okay.
yeah, it was a mutual departure because he was going to take a year off or something, they said, for hip surgery. But once the Eagle job came up, it was a job that he always wanted. And he said he was willing to take it, but he explained to them his conditions. And they said it wasn't a condition that they was willing to work with him being out until like halfway during the season. It wouldn't be compatible. So they went in a different direction. So the 3 options as of right now is Lovie Smith, Vance Joseph, Rex Ryan. Vance Joseph.
That's who I will go to. Because you said Vance. I thought you said Vance Johnson. I didn't know who the hell that was. All right, so yeah, I would take Vance Joseph.
Yeah, and it's to me it's either Lovey. I would prefer Lovey Smith, but if we don't get Lovey, I don't have a problem with having Vance Joseph come up in there and fill in the slot, especially with the players that we have. And he's kind of aggressive also.
Right.
But Lovey Smith comes in with that OG presence, like like being on in the hood. And when one of the OGs talk, you listen. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
with Vance Joseph, he been there, done that, but at the same time, he ain't too much older than the players. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Yeah.
Lovey Smith come in with the gray beard, you know what I mean, and letting them know what needs to be done, and it's a respect thing, you know what I mean, regardless of what he's done in his career or whatever. It's a respect thing from them vets that we got in the locker room, and then Lovey ain't gonna do nothing but demand his respect anyway. And I just feel it that's the Philly attitude that we need and representative. And then if you look at it, then we'll have two. We'll have a black OC and a DC in Philly. You know what I mean? So shit, and with all those black players you need, you know what I mean, them to have people that can relate to them, you know what I mean, somebody they feel comfortable having a conversation with and all that good shit, you know what I mean, somebody that look like them, you know what I mean, where they're able to feel comfortable with them to say certain things that they wouldn't normally say with any other person or any other coach. But we're gonna get to this next topic right. Me, like I just mentioned, I'll take Lovey Smith also. And we're gonna get into next year's schedule, what y'all seeing us doing next year, far as with
Bro.
the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 home games and 9 away games. So
Man.
I see.
Um.
I'll jump in with this first since I'll let y'all go first with the other ones just so you
Okay.
give y'all a little more time to think while y'all looking at this screen and everything. Um, I'll start off with the teams that are laid out in front of us. Buffalo at home. I see us beating Buffalo. I see us having I think Miami will give us a better game than Buffalo because of their weapons with the speed wise.
Mhm.
Stephon Diggs and them is a great duel. Don't get me wrong. With their tight end, they got a great duel, but they don't have a running game. Miami can take away. I mean, or should I say, Miami can benefit without even having a running game with the speed from Tyreek and Waddle. You know what I mean? That's going to take the top of our defense and open up so many like they're going to eat off a wide receiver and 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 tight end and running back screens and stuff like that because the flat is going to be so wide open because we're having to compensate, should I say, for the speed and get a head start so that they don't beat us over the top. And then the Vikings, I see us beating up on the Vikings again. San Francisco, that's the game that's we have to be ready for and play that game as if it's our Super Bowl also. Because they're coming in fighting from a vengeance from last year. They like if we would have basically if they beat us, see, we were supposed to be in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? You're
Right.
gonna hear all those whining fans again open up Pandora's box with the what if. And Arizona for sure, we're gonna beat the hell. We're gonna beat up on Gannon, and for sure, Nick gonna want to throw up on some points because you see his press conference when he basically said only qualifications that we looking for in the DC is someone that's able to adapt. You know what I mean? Took a shot at Gannon. So I feel that Arizona game, we're going to try to put up numbers, and it's going to be in Philly. And then the Giants, I feel that that's going to be, besides the Chiefs and the Jets, that may be our hardest game next year. And or should I say Washington because of the divisional, and then I'll eliminate that. I'll eliminate the NFC East and with saying that that's going to be our hardest division. But far as all the home games, if we lose a game, it would be San Francisco or the Giants. I mean the Cowgirls. The away games, I see us having the same mentality that San Francisco's coming into Philly with the wanting to get revenge. I see us having that same mentality coming into Kansas City, and I seeing us getting a dub in Kansas City. LA dub, Jets dub, Seattle dub, Cowboys away. I see that could be an L at their home. We'll beat the Patriots. We'll beat the Bucks, especially without Brady. And then Washington, they the ones that gave us our first L last year. So I say that could possibly be an L. I say the worst will be 13-4, 14-3.
I like that. Okay. Um, I can see us. I don't know. That Bills Eagles game would be a good one, bro. But I can see us taking the W on that. Uh, the Dolphins game, I can see us getting a dub on that. I think we get our first loss with San Francisco just because that's that revenge game. Uh,
Because they
W's a
coming with
couple.
a little more wanted than we may have want.
Yeah. And then, like you said, with the Cardinals, letting Gannon know what he missed. Uh, New York, Dallas, and Washington, I see those all being dubs. Kansas City, I see a dub. Jets a dub. I think LA is going to come in a little bit stronger than everybody thinks. I think that's going to be the team everybody underestimate, and I can see us actually taking the L on that one. Um, Seahawks, that would be a good game. Take a dub on that one though. Uh, New York, I can see us taking the L, and the Cowboys, I can see us taking the L, and then we end off the season with a dub.
So what's your record?
Um, I'm going. I'm going 13 and 4.
Same. That's what I was thinking. What about you, Cash?
Shit. The only thing about this next year's season, man, I really don't like is that we don't get our first division game until like 7 games in the season. Whereas this year,
No,
third
no, no.
game.
This is not the schedule. This is just the opponents.
Oh, okay.
They haven't put out a schedule yet. See, if you look at it, to the left is home, to the right is away. They haven't put it in chronicle in order for week 1, week 2, anything like that. So we don't know when we play these people. We just know we play them this year.
Copy that. All right. So Kansas City. Shit. I think. Oh, we're gonna start home. Listen, depending on what happens with Miles Sanders, man. If we don't keep Miles Sanders and he go to Buffalo, that could be an iffy game. But if Miles Sanders stays, I see us winning against Buffalo. If he goes to Buffalo, I don't think that's going to be an easy game. I believe that'll be an additional weapon for Josh Allen. Miami, like you all said, that's going to be a real tough one just because of the wide receiver threats that they have with that they got with Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I believe that's going to be a close one. I think that might come down like a field goal or something like that. And I don't know what's going to be. Anybody know what the determination on Tua is going to be for next season?
He better
He's
retire.
still ruled out. Yeah, he's
He's
still
still
ruled
ruled
out.
out. Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, it might be. I feel like that's going to be a dub as well. Minnesota, man, it's trouble in paradise over there. So I think that's going to be a dub. San Francisco, I do believe that's going to be a revenge game. However, it's home, and we don't just be letting anybody win in our house. Um, and to be honest, I still lean. I don't got that much faith in Purdy. I ain't got that much faith in Purdy, despite what
Lance to
he's
be the
done this
Or
year.
starter.
Trey Lance. Yeah.
Yeah, Lance gonna be the starter.
Oh, okay. Um,
Purdy
so
might
that.
get traded or something.
Yeah, because they can get some good capital for him right now.
All right, so then yeah, that might be a different game. Hmm. I still think we're gonna come out with a W on that one.
Facts.
Arizona, that's gonna be a dub. New York, that's gonna be a dub. I believe that depending on who we play first between the Cowgirls and Washington, I believe that's gonna be our first L. Away, Kansas City. I think that's gonna be a dub, definitely. The Jets, that's gonna be a dub. Patriots, that's a dub. LA, that's a dub. Seattle is gonna be a dub. Tampa's a dub. And then I'll take another L. I'm not gonna call it with the Giants. I'll take it with either the Cowgirls or
Yeah,
Washington
especially with
once again.
Saquon being gone.
Right. So my prediction for next year is gonna be shit 15-2.
Yeah,
I got a
and
question
that's
for y'all.
possible though too.
Can y'all see us go undefeated in the NFC East to where nobody in NFC East can beat us? Do y'all see that happening next year?
Depending on when we
Mm,
play them with the away games.
right.
Yeah.
That determines if we playing. You know how we normally they do it with the NFL. They try to put it the first games and the last game as divisional rivals, so you don't rest your starters. So you got to basically play if you don't have a clear win advantage over your second place team, and you
Mm,
automatically gonna win the division. They make it come to the last couple of weeks of the year. You know what I mean? So it
yeah.
just depends on when we play them away. If we're playing them at home towards the last of the season, then yeah, I can say we can go undefeated if we're ending the year with them at home instead of on the road.
Got you.
What do you think?
I
Uh
think we can. Yeah.
Is there any variables that you can think that can make it where it's a possibility we can win or a possibility we can lose, or if this happens, there's a good chance we win or whatever? Like, is there anything you can throw in there?
I just see that we're the more, even with all of our free agents, I still think that we're the most standout team out of all of them. Um, just in our NFC East division, I can see us just cooking each team if we come in like on a mission because we lost the Super Bowl, they didn't. So like our mission is gonna be a lot different. And I don't know. I can just see it being like, all right, well, if we can't win these games, then we need to reevaluate what we're doing. I just think that's just the mindset they may have going into them. So
And,
that's just my personal opinion.
and my personal opinion also too is speaking on this schedule, and I'll go to Cass. I hope we get an early loss to eliminate that undefeated BS, so we can
Yeah.
focus on the season instead of worrying about undefeated stuff. And they tuning in every week. The Eagles is 7-0. Now they're 8-0 because we're the last team that's undefeated. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
And Cash, you want to jump in on that about the undefeated in the NFC East?
uh to be honest, I kind of agree with you both. Well, no, actually, I agree with you, Marcel, in regards to two different aspects that I don't even want to see them go the whole season undefeated. And at the end of the day, the only team that I'm really shaky about, really on the fence about, that's in the NFC. Oh, you said the NFC East, not just the
Yeah.
NFC Conference.
No, just the NFC East. Just the
Oh,
East.
okay, just the NFC East. Nah, I already said that. I feel like we gonna lose to one of our division rivals. Man, that's just that's the nature of the beast in our conference, bro. So
Exactly.
it's never been like one year that we went undefeated out of the whole conference that I could remember. So no, I don't think we're gonna do that.
And then the determination on when we play them. If we just say if you're predicting we 15-2, cast, if we go into game 16, game 15, we're going to rest our starters. We're going to have a
Right.
full 3 to 4 game lead over the next person in the NFC East, and I don't. And then that's when the losses come into play. So that's where it's kind of like iffy with that question, Warren. What do you see us going undefeated in the NFC East, because we're going to play them last of the
Yeah.
season.
No,
So
I
it's
get what
either
you're saying.
it's
Yeah.
either rest them or they're going to be playing with aspirations of beating us and going to the playoffs. You get what I'm saying? They got to beat us
Yep.
to make the playoffs. You get what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Mm.
So that's the only reason why it's a 60-40. I'm winning, or 70-30. I'll say 70 that we can, but the other 30% is the last 3 weeks of the season.
Those
And
variables in place.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, shit. We're gonna hop into the next topic real quick. We're gonna get into these Kelly green jerseys for or uniforms, should I say,
Ooh,
for next season. And we're
we
able to get helmet. These helmets that you see will be the helmets for the Eagles next year. But the only difference is it's gonna be either white with the green letters or green with the white, which they would have to do it at home, or a Thursday night game. And certain teams like the Rams, they wear white at home. So we would
Mm-hmm.
be able to wear these on a road game on a Thursday night with it being a
Nice.
green. So I feel that this is going to be the color scheme right here with the white pants with the green Kelly green going down with the white and I mean the green with the white letters numbers on our unis. But these is fire. I can't wait. I'm busting out all. I got like 3 jerseys that's this color. You know what I mean? I can't wait to bust it out. But then I'm gonna also grab up one of these. I'm gonna try to get it like 2 or 3 of these of the current players in Kelly Green. Because if we wear them in 2023, that's just opening up our window so we're able to wear them once a year on our alternate color scheme for Thursday night. So instead of black, we're gonna go with Kelly Green. And we can wear black anytime because that's a dark color as long as we do it at home.
Yeah, man, that's tough.
Yeah,
So I feel that this gonna be our alternate color for Thursday night game that we wear, and it wouldn't be surprised if we have the green pants to match it.
yeah, that's gonna be fire. I always like these color this color uniforms. So that's gonna be fire for this up and coming year.
Imagine winning the Super Bowl in the first game of the season at home in these jerseys, in these uniforms. That would have been fire, bro. That would have been crazy. But
Damn.
what y'all thinking of these right here, though?
Nah, they tough, bro. They tough. Like I'm gonna get me a jersey too. I'm kind of just like you. I'm trying to get me a jersey. So nah, I like them.
And then I believe Marcel, you got the throwback what the hell? Varsity jacket that's like this color, right?
Oh yeah,
To
of
go
course,
with, yeah,
of
so I
course.
definitely that fit fire, bro. Like so with these colors, I'm definitely hype about that.
And I
I could
just found
definitely
the
pick up some more.
and if y'all look on Fanatics and go in the clearance section, they got a Eagles hoodie for like $39 originally, like $79, and it's Kelly Green with the eagle and everything, and I'm getting that just so that if we do get jerseys and they sell them to the public or whatever, that I'm able to throw a hoodie underneath it if I go to a Philly and it's a cold game where I'm matching instead of having to throw a black one or a white one, I can just throw the green and make it look like a long sleeve. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But they on sale for half off, 50% off, 55% off, some shit like that. So that's a must for me. But we're gonna get into the last topic of the night. We got 7 free agents that are mandatory in my eyes. I don't know if they're mandatory in you guys' eyes, but I feel that we need to um, get these gentlemen back. And then I put an asterisk for 2 of them, so it's a total of 9. And so the asterisk would be for Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey, where I feel that we can bring them back on vet minimums, you know what I mean, and get 1 more year out of them and just run the mentality on everybody that's free agents with the let's just run it back and see what we can do. If it don't work, then go our separate ways. But let's just, instead of having that what if, let's just try to do it one more time. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
the 7 that I'm gonna name besides um Cox and Kelsey would be Hargrave, Miles Sanders, Bradbury, Sarmalu, Kazir White, Epps, and Edwards. I feel that these are key players to bring back. What do y'all think?
I definitely agree with Hargrave. But yeah, no, I agree with Hargrave, Edwards, and Epps. Um, Bradbury, I'm not too sure about, and Miles, just because I know a team can offer him a lot more money, but if he wants to stay, we will keep him and utilize him. That's my thoughts on it.
Big facts.
Uh, shit. Salmalu, I agree. Hargrave, I agree. Kaiser, I'm a little open, a little iffy with that one, only because of the Kobe. Um,
But if you look at it with Lovey Smith and Vance Joseph coming in, that's a 4-3. You know what I mean? So we're
mhm.
gonna end up having 2 backers.
Okay.
So So we're going to need a second. So Kaiser and Edwards will get a lot of playing time. And if it's not Kaiser, it's going to be Dean. You know what I mean? In that other position. So we're going to need two backers. And why not have Kaiser starting and we're able to fill in Dean in either one of those positions if one of them,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
All
we
right.
could
So yeah,
slide Kaiser to Edwards. And if Edwards fall, and we could slide Kaiser to Edwards' position and put Dean in White's and vice versa.
yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, Kaiser, keeping him then. Uh, Edwards, Miles Sanders, I definitely want to keep. Bradbury, I'm iffy with, man. It'd be cool if he stayed, but it ain't no loss to me if he go. CJ got to stay, and I believe I said Hargrave already, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
with these,
I
the only one you didn't touch bases on was
think the
Epps.
last one was TJ
Was
Epps.
Epps.
Yeah, keep Epps as well.
Yeah. And my thing
We got
is
to sign.
I want to keep every single one of these people that I just named, including Cox and Kelsey, because of the factor of running back familiarity. And at the same time, these are cheap contracts besides Bradbury and Hargrave. Miles Sanders is player friendly. You know what I mean? Epps is player friendly. Epps can't go to no other team in the NFL and start right now. You know what I mean? Like seriously, you know what I mean? But like somebody like Houston, but I'm talking about a contender. He's not going on no contender starting right now. And then you got Edwards. He was our leading tackler this season. He has to come back. And then Salamalu, I mean, we can't give up a starter on the offensive line. Do you know how many teams will want him and knowing what we doing? Like, and we got our head, I mean, our
Right.
O-line coach back and signed him for an extension. This is his players he need. You know what I mean? Once Kelsey is gone and we throw in and Jurgens in that position, then we gonna need to have young youth at them positions. And Kaiser White is a factor to me. I feel we can restructure some contracts and bring all Cam Jurgens and Salamalu, what's Dick Lane Dickerson, you know what I mean? All that them is youth coming up in there
Yeah.
once we get and then you got to take into consideration Malata's young also. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
still
Yeah.
young. All if we get rid of Kelsey and Lane Johnson, we still got youth and they're coming off of basically you slap boxing in the neighborhood with your big homies. Your skills gonna be up to par when niggas come your age, you're gonna be slapping them up. You know what I mean? Because the
Right.
big
Right.
homies tapping y'all off, showing you what not to do, and you
Right.
getting your skills up with the big homies. When folks come your side, your age, they ain't gonna be able to handle you. You're gonna be too experienced. And so
Right.
that's the same thing with our offensive line. So I feel that we need to keep everybody I named in there. There needs to be some AJ talking about send me wherever Jalen go. I hope he had that same energy when it's time to restructure his contract with that 4 year, 100 million. I hope he had that same energy when it's time for that, so that we're able to get players around him, like he's saying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that was it for tonight, fellas. We went over a little more than we expected. Like I mentioned from the beginning, we was gonna go over a little bit with the topics, and with this being the final show of the season, what would be season finale. Um, I appreciate y'all, my guys, for tuning in with us. I appreciate everybody that had never comment, tuned in, liked, subscribed, whatever it was. You know, this has been an eventful first season, and the first one's always going to be the rougher one than all the rest of them. So look forward to next season with a smoother process, a different type of a setup and everything. I feel next year will be a awesome look for this channel right here, and we're gonna change the name from Eagles Podcast to Eagles Talk. You know what I mean? So it will be birds of a feather flock together, Eagles Talk, and then we'll have a few more co-hosts on a weekly basis. And like I say, man, I thank y'all. And the next time y'all see us, we'll be going live for the NFL draft this upcoming April. And we'll see y'all then. Any last words that y'all want to say before we get up out of here, my fellas?
Oh, sir, thank you for having me for this year. This has been an amazing season, bro. Really appreciate everything you put together and having me a part of it. Really do appreciate it, man. And it's been fun. It's been dope. It's been awesome, talking to other Eagles fans and just talking about the sport that we love the most, period, at the end of the day, man. Really appreciate this platform to have a voice on. And, man, I'm looking forward to, being a part of this moving forward.
Yeah, just like Cash, like putting this platform in place for us to talk our knowledge, and just put in what we think about the Eagles and what we want. Um, I appreciate it. So yeah, this is good, and I'm looking forward to the future with it.
Yeah, and like you just mentioned, also we could easily be having Twitter fingers. Should I say? You know how that they say we could easily be typing this up in a Eagles group or something, getting rid of our frustration. But I met you through going live on Facebook in the group. You know what I mean, and other
Yeah,
little things like that. You know what I mean, conversations and stuff like that. So just being able to interact with other Eagles fans and get our frustrations out. And if Jay was here tonight, we would have had four different opinions from four Eagle fans. You get what I'm saying? We
yeah,
all feel a certain type of way. We all like different players. We all like different things about our team, and that's what makes it unique with this what we do right here with getting together every Wednesday and talking about the Eagles, because the more people that we have, we're gonna have different conversation, and that's what, or should I say different analog, and that's what makes us human, that we're not the same. No matter, you could be twins and you're still different mentally. Y'all might look the same physically on the outside, but mentally you guys think and like two different, totally different things. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I want to thank you guys. I want to thank my boy Jay. I want to thank everybody that been comment on here. It was successful season one, man, and look forward to season two. We're gonna have a little more guests on here. We're gonna be a little more authentic, should I say, because we were sugar coated in the beginning weeks, you know what I mean? Just to, we didn't want to get in nobody's feelings and stuff like that. And then what we'll try to do next year, with us having 4 to 5 people on every week, we'll try to get a person from a team that we played that week, if we're able to get somebody on there, just for have a special guest and be able to hear it from that side point of view, from a loser's point of view, should I say. I'm just playing, but at the same time, hear it from a point of views from another team, their opponent, and we can hear their perspective of how the game went for them, instead of just our way, hearing it from an Eagles perspective. So we're going to try to
definitely.
just explore different type of things for next year. And once again, man, I just want to say thank y'all. Thank my nigga Cash. Thank my boy Warren. Thank my homie Jay. I met Jay through Cash. You know what I mean? He brought him on to the show, another diehard Eagles fan. So we all just related. So like I say, this ain't just for us. This is for anybody that's an Eagles fan. And next year we're gonna make it different, where we're able to interact a little better with everybody that's Eagles fans. So once again, man, I just want to say thank y'all. And before we get up out of here, man, I want to say EAGLES,
L-E-S,
Eagles. You know what I
Eagles.
mean? We ain't did that
Yes,
all
sir.
season, so I wanted to
Right,
do it.
right.
So we can do it. I'm gonna start it off, and I'm gonna pause the E, and then we'll get in. I'm gonna make the E long, and then we'll just get into the rest. All right?
All right, go.
E A G.
Hey! Oh.
See, that's what. But it's gonna be a delay, so we ain't gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
Let's just get up out of here. Let's just get
Yes,
up
All
out of
right,
here.
bro.
We ain't gonna be
Y'all
able to
take it
do it because
easy.
of the delay.
right,
Until
right.
next time, my brothers.
Later, fellas.
All right.